Hey, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Real Producers Partners podcast. Today, I am joined by Allison Hillman. Allison is with btpbyallison.com. I'm going to ask you what that stands for here in just a second, but welcome, Allison.
Hi, thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. So tell me a little bit about btpbyallison.com.
So I'm a one-woman shop. I operate in all of Metro St. Louis. So from St. Charles to Florissant to Arnold to, Festus and I'm definitely a South City girl, but everything in between. So very proud to call St. Louis home. I specialize in branding. So anything you need to market your business, whether it be headshots or marketing photos or anything like that. And then weddings, events, and families. Rumor has it I am the kiddo whisperer. So that's what I do.
All right. I also hear that you're a Cardinal fan.
I am a Cardinal fan. It's why we moved to St. Louis.
Really?
Yes. So in 2012, we lived in West Tennessee, my husband and I, and that was our last season in Jackson. And we went to 27 home games in St. Louis alone. And we traveled to other towns, but we spent less money in 2014 on tickets after we had moved to St. Louis than we did traveling to those, 2 dozen games. So,
yeah. So do you just work in St. Louis or do you work in other regions in the area?
I'm all around. I always say half passport will travel. But so you probably hear my twang. So I'm originally from Southern Indiana. So I spent some time in Paducah, Evansville area, Nashville, Tennessee, which is my first adult home, and then all over St. Louis. So my car, I call him Elton, and we travel all over. I'm not one of those people that are scared to cross the bridges.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's one of the things I love about my job doing digital marketing. I mean, I've got clients across the country and, it's a great opportunity to go visit folks. And I love to travel. I love driving. I love driving vacations. So yeah, it's awesome. Cool.
I'm flying out to Portland, Oregon in November to do an engagement. And I'm super pumped to go to the Pacific Northwest. So
you've never been there?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I've been to 44 states, but the Pacific Northwest is not on the list.
Yeah. Oregon was actually the very last of the 50 states for me to get to. And ironically, I'm wearing a Crater Lake t-shirt.
I saw that. That's what made me think of it.
Yeah. Nice. So when you mentioned that you help businesses with branding, visual branding, give me an idea of what all that entails and how do you go about doing that?
So we start by doing what's called a brand huddle. And so we sit down and we just talk about where you've been and where you're going. And so I have a communications and an operations background. I went to school for journalism and PR. And we just dive into why you do what you do, what makes you special, and things like that. And because I can do graphic design and collateral for your clients and logos and all of that as well. So we start we kind of break it down of what do you want to communicate? And so maybe that's new pictures. Maybe that's a fresh logo. Maybe that means just changing up your colors a little bit because colors communicate powerful things, whether we realize it or not. So we just, in that 30 minutes to an hour, depending on what you need, we do that brand huddle and we just break it down and afterwards I just send you, here's what I hear you need. And this is how much it's going to cost you. And then you just decide what is best for you. And we go from there.
Okay. Do you work on any messaging or anything like that? Because I'm a big story brand guy. I'm certified.
I'm a wordsmith. So we work on your elevator pitch. We can work on your mission and vision statement, your tagline. The elevator pitch is a big one because I'm pretty active in the networking world and being on staff for Real Producers. You hear, well, I don't really know what to say about myself. And, you still listen, but do you after someone says something like that? So just polishing that 15, 30-second spiel that even if it's something as simple, put some confidence in there and some,
Right.
a little
Yeah.
tagline.
Yeah. Yeah. So what is yours?
I capture your story no matter what chapter you're on,
Okay.
whether it's your business or your family.
All right. Nice. My company's is we build websites that generate customers.
Perfect. See, and it's simple. You
Yeah.
don't have to reinvent the wheel. That's what if you overthink it, that's why you bring in someone like myself or you that can
Yeah.
just break that apart and be like, you're overthinking this.
Yeah.
So,
Or you're underthinking it too, though.
right.
Because I mean, I'm sure you run
Yeah.
across this all the time. I am amazed, constantly amazed at how many businesses' websites I look at and I don't know what they do.
Right.
It's like,
Absolutely.
and you've got 5 seconds. I mean, we're in a hyper short attention span world, and there are plenty of different choices. And if people don't know you from anybody else, they're going to look and if they're confused, they're going to move on and check out the next competitor they find.
And unless their best buddy or, Craig from work referred you,
Right.
you may not even get 5 seconds.
That's right.
So it just,
Yeah, it's the power of the words, but it's also
Mhm.
the power of the visuals, because human beings can learn so much more from visual in a shorter amount of time. It's simpler and easier for us to process. And so, working with somebody like you to nail the visual aspect of branding too is really critical. And as you mentioned, even colors matter, I mean, if you're trying to convey stability, or energy or anger or love, there are colors that help you convey those very strongly. So yeah, awesome.
So like booking pictures can be chaotic. Like moms get stressed out, and even booking headshots, it's no one wakes up in the morning and is so excited to hire a photographer. Like that's not something. So that's one of the reasons I picked teal, because it's soothing. It has some strength to it too. So
Right.
it just, the colors matter. And having someone also that's the wordsmith like you and I follow up with you to make sure, for lack of a better way to put it, it's an investment to have me come in and do pictures for your business. I'm not the cheapest, but I'm not the most expensive either, but it's an investment. And
Yeah.
so you can have great pictures, but if you're not using them properly and don't have a professional that comes in and tells you what the heck to do with them,
Right.
that's a challenge too. So that's one of my superpowers with those clients.
Yeah. One of the things that we talk about, in my world, in the world of digital marketing is, if you're the kind of business that's going to go in somebody's home, the pictures of the people who are in the business should be prominent, probably on the homepage,
So
because people.
I was just explaining this in a networking group the other day. One of the things that the packages that I offer is quarterly branding, where a company can literally hire me. I come out once or twice a month, or once every 3 months. We do an updated team photo. If you've got new people on your team, we do updated headshots, so that when Tommy is getting, whether it's a contractor or an AC person or whatever, if they're going into someone's home, like, I'm sorry, my 2-year-old is probably going to be at my house if I'm working from home that day. So if you're coming out into my home, I want to know who the heck's going to be knocking on my door.
Right.
So it's so handy to be able to either text them the picture or email them, hey, Tommy has been with us for 7 years. His specialty is this. He's a huge Cardinals fan and is super bummed that this is Yachty's last season. I immediately have something to talk to him about, because I'm bummed that it's Yachty's last season too.
Right.
So, it builds that trust that your clients want, and it sets you apart. It really just,
It
it's a
does.
game changer.
It does. The other thing too that I don't think a lot of people realize, and I don't mean to dwell on websites particularly, but what you do is so relevant. You know, having a picture of people in the hero image, the top image of your website, motivates people to take action. If you're um, a water restoration company and you show a picture of a really ugly, nasty water damage scenario on the hero image of your homepage, while that may tell an interesting story, it's not the right story.
That's going to stress me out more. I'm trying to solve that. I want to see something really pretty because that's what I want it to be when I'm done.
Yeah, and marketing is about transformation. People want to visualize what is their after state going to be when you help them solve the problem. And so that's, you need to think about that when you're creating your visual images. So in regard to like working with realtors, do you have packages where they can sign up for like a media day where you go with them to capture, because then you can take those pictures and you can repurpose those, you can reuse them, you can edit them, you can shift the focus of the pictures, you can use them on social media, on the website, you name it. So tell me a little bit about that. How do you do that?
So what I do is called lifestyle branding. And so I hang out with you for a couple hours or, even an hour. It doesn't have to be that I spend a day with you. I go, maybe I wouldn't go to an open house right now, but like maybe you're going to do a second walkthrough with the house right before you put the sign in the yard. And it's just some pictures of you doing your thing, putting the sign in the yard, doing the walkthrough of the house or whatever, or just even at a networking event. I've had people, they're like, hey, I'm going to go to this event, or hey, we're going to have 4 or 5 realtors in the office this week. We need some pictures of us working around the office because everyone thinks that it's for realtors. Realtors have the quirkiest job to me because everyone, that meme that it's like what my mom thinks I do, what society thinks I do, what I actually do. That is the perfect one for realtors because no one really knows what they do. They're on the phone and answering emails, and that's an important side of it too, of the grit, the hard work of it. I mean, Lori Sharpstein is one of my favorite realtors in St. Louis. I don't have favorites because I'm on the Real Producers team. I did not just say that, but she's a good friend of mine too. And I remember we used to work out of the same co-working space, and she showed up and she was in dress clothes. And I noticed she had something on her pants, and I was like, Lori, where have you been? She'd been crawling under a house she was listing because something weird she noticed when she was doing. And they've got to be ready for all of that. And it's important to showcase in these social media posts. It's important to show your family. Alicia Cope, I just did some pictures with her, and we did pictures of all 4 of her grandbabies because people buy your story. They hire you because they related to something, they admired something, they wanted your life or whatever it is. They wish they had that or whatever it is. Yeah. So if you've got to think outside of the box a little bit of what's your superpower? That's one of the questions I always ask. What are you passionate about? What's your superpower? So if you're one of those people that likes to work with a dog rescue, I need to go hang out with you for an hour while you're playing with dogs because I'm going to capture you living your best life. And you need to convey that to your clients as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think the other thing that, from my perspective, looking at it, and I don't know how this would translate into pictures. I'd love your thoughts on this, but people, I look at problems in 3 different components. I mean, and this is straight out of Story Brand by Donald Miller. Mm-hmm. Internal, external, and philosophical. So philosophical is easy. It's right or wrong. It's, if you're a dentist, it's 2022. It shouldn't be that hard to get pain-free dentistry kind of stuff, right? The external problem is I've got a toothache. Internal problem is why I buy. External problem is maybe what I look for, but who I decide to go with and hire to solve my problem usually is related to the internal problem. And it could be every time I go to the dentist, it's painful, or I'm just terribly anxious whenever I go to the dentist, or I always feel like it's too crowded, or whatever it might be. And so if you can address that, through words, I know how to do that on a website. How do you do that visually?
It depends on the client, but
and the type of problem, obviously. But
for the position that the problem you just gave me. So let's talk about the dentist's office for a second. So if you make me anxious every time I come there, we're going to talk about what your waiting room looks like. And it may not just be a me thing that needs to solve this, but we're going to talk about maybe you need to slap a fresh coat of paint on this and have me come in and take a picture. Like it wouldn't be an empty waiting room, but I'm not going to take a picture of a child playing in the corner, because let me tell you this, I have a 2-year-old and I don't need a 2-year-old banging on something and being a 2-year-old right before you stick your hand in my mouth. Yeah. But I might show some pictures of your waiting room of literally someone sitting there reading a book, because that's peaceful. If you can sit there and read a book, that means no one's bothering you. That means it's a peaceful atmosphere.
Yeah.
I would have friendly faces of who I'm going to see when I walk in the door. Maybe we need to reconnect so customer service, the operation side of things. I would talk about, what does your customer service look like when your patient walks in the door? I would address it in the wording, friendly faces, happy to see you. So things like that, because you need to have that wordsmith that attaches to your visual that does that perfect package.
Yeah. So how would you do that for like realtors or even mortgage lenders, folks who are in real producers?
We're going to get personal. We're going to, like I said before, if you have a dog, we're going to take some pictures of you with your dog. I want to know what makes you tick. And that's the thing that we're going to introduce you to your clients. It's not just going to be Rob from the mortgage office that answers. You know what? Great. You're quick to answer emails and phone calls and you're always there. Perfect.
Yeah.
But please tell me a funny story about you and your wife, or you and your partner. Your teenage daughter has driven you nuts this week because y'all had to solve a problem with X, Y, and Z. So let's post a picture of you with your daughter doing something fun. Maybe you coach your daughter's T-ball team or whatever. Let's post about that. Let me come out to your kid doesn't have to necessarily be in the picture per se, but let's post the picture of you in your coaching uniform.
Yeah.
Of, hey, you know what? My kid struck out every time last night, and you know what? We still went and got ice cream. And this is the local spot we went to. And it's the picture of you doing, I play ball and I can't think right now, of, running drills with these kids. So something as simple as hitting shags. That's what I was trying to think of.
Right.
Anyway, but you can't be afraid to get personal. That's the thing, is you need to introduce yourself. I mean, don't go nuts. I don't need to know that you have to have your smoothie and an oatmeal whatever every morning for breakfast, but I want to know a little bit about your kids. You're a soccer dad or whatever.
Yeah. Well, and that's a great point. I mean, especially when you look at it from a social media perspective, we do social media management for companies. Sometimes it's really hard. It's almost impossible. I mean, and I really think there are, at least 3 levels of social media. I mean, there's kind of the basic blocking and tackling. Some of that you can do with generic things, quotes and statistics and stuff like that. But where you move the needle 9 times out of 10, maybe 10 out of 10, is when you get that personal element. Because people connect with people. It's called social networks for a reason.
Absolutely.
And as a company that does that, I can't do that without having pictures, that I can use to tell that story, and build out that profile on social media. That's what's going to get the most engagement. Go ahead.
So there's 3 things that I tell my clients. You educate, and only you can. And you need to do it in a way that sets you apart just a little bit. I mean, don't reinvent the wheel. Kurt Fauble, who's an insurance agent, he is exceptional at this. He is always posting, like right now, the Hyundai Kias are getting carjacked because of some flaw that they have. And he posted about that today. And he educates, you get personal, and then you show what you support. So if you're an advocate for shopping local, which I think all of us are that are small business owners, like there was a new snow cone place in Fenton that just opened up this weekend, and I covered my social media at it because I took my kiddo. Because people want to know what you're doing, who you're doing it with, to an extent. So it's, and I literally had someone text me Sunday that they went by to check it out because they had seen my post, and guess what? They thought it was delicious too. So, and it was just a shaved ice place. And so, but you've got to educate, you do something personal, and then show what you support. And one of my questions on my brand huddle sheet is, what nonprofit do you support? And I'm not saying that you have to be at every volunteer meeting, but if there's not something that you're putting out there at least once or twice a year that you're supporting, you're missing an opportunity.
Yeah.
So for me, Gateway Men's Course is something that I'm a diehard supporter of here in St. Louis. And I'm posting about them all the time because I want people to know about the good that they're doing. But I want that, selfishly, I want you to know that I support local stuff. I have this love affair with St. Louis that's a little weird. And everyone knows I support Gateway Men's Course. I'm a huge Cardinals fan. And if there's a new local business that's fantastic, I'm going to tell you about it because I'm fine. As soon as it opens, me and my boys are going to be there. So,
yeah. Well, I got to get my shameless plug in for the Modern American Dance Company, which is, I'm board president of that. And it's the longest running dance company in St. Louis. And I also, we do pro bono work, website work for Habitat St. Charles. So
perfect.
So yeah, I mean, it's very important. You know, those are things that help people. You know, people want to do business with people they know, like, and trust.
Yep.
You know, and the more you can convey that, and the more you and like we talked about earlier, I mean, visual is really one of the best ways to do that because you know, what is the phrase? A picture is worth 1,000 words. Probably a lot more than that, actually.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so it really should be planned and thought out and part of your strategy, not just let it happen by chance. Although some of the happening by chance is what makes, you know, things interesting. But it really needs to be a lot more planned than most people.
Why you hire a professional? Exactly. I mean, you can hire a photographer, but are they truly, like, do they know what they're doing other than just, here, I took a really good picture for you.
Right. Yeah.
Have a wonderful day.
So what has worked really well for you in terms of your own marketing?
Exactly what we've been talking about. So I take care of people. I am notorious. I have a couple of people that tease me all the time, and they're like, Allison's token line is, thank you for the opportunity to earn your business. I try to be gracious, but I take care of people first. If there's any kind of frustration along the way, my question is, how can I make this right? I'm not afraid to jump on a Zoom and have a conversation and actually look at things to figure out where, and you may not be able to communicate it, but I have enough experience now that I know what to ask to figure it out.
Yeah.
So just taking care of people. I'm Southern, so I have a hard time with this side, talking about myself on this side of things. But I don't have a lot of unsatisfied people when I'm done, when we're done. And sometimes I'm not the one, like, it's not a good fit, and that's fine.
Sure.
I'm not perfect. I'm human, and it's creative, and you may not like my brand of creative, and that's okay too. And I can send you to, there are tons of photographers in St. Louis. I can help you find somebody else, but I take care of people. And just, I'm a mom. Everyone knows I'm a mom. I have Chase. He's at shoots a lot too. He's almost he used to be the baby of real producers. He's 2.5 now. He can't handle real producer meetings anymore. But, you know, I'm real, and my mom has Alzheimer's. My mother-in-law has Alzheimer's. So I'm avid champion for the Alzheimer's Association in Missouri. And, I'm a fierce ally for the Alphabet Mafia. So that's why I work with Karis and GMC and things like that, and am also always out helping with pride events and things like that. And I am unapologetically who I am. And, you know, everyone, the thing is, if you want something sugar coated, you go to a bakery, you don't come to Allison. Because I will take care of you, and I'm going to tell you how it is. And if something isn't right in the way you're doing it in your business and I can help you, I'm going to bluntly tell you where your opportunities are. So
okay,
that's what's worked for me.
Yeah, cool. So this is a question from Diane. What is the strangest thing in your refrigerator?
Oh, that is such a Diane question. I actually just cleaned my fridge out. What is the strangest thing in my refrigerator? I've got my kid's cold medicine in there right now because he thinks I can put it in his juice, and he thinks that it's, I guess that would be the strangest thing right now.
All right. Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
I try to not have strange things in my refrigerator, honestly.
I have food in my fridge, but Diane will tell you, I'll eat just about anything she throws at me because she's a fabulous cook. But she's definitely a chef. But I'm trying to, because a couple times Jason, my husband, will see things in the fridge and be like, why is this in here? But I just cleaned the fridge out. And even when we cleaned it out, there wasn't anything too absurd in there. I mean, yeah, I guess my kid's cold medicine, that's going to be the weirdest thing because he won't take it warm.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to wrestle.
Sure. Yeah.
So.
All right. So one last question. If you had one ask of our audience, what would that be?
Ooh, that is a double-ended sword right there. Selfishly, let's schedule a brand huddle. Let's see where your business is, and maybe I can't help you, or maybe there are some opportunities, and maybe I don't cost as much as you think to do something little, or even something bigger. It may not be what you think, because I'm getting that a lot. People are just like, oh, this isn't what I thought it would be. And then I guess selfish in another way is find something you're passionate about to dive into for you to change, to make our city better. Because St. Louis is a wonderful city, but there's so many nonprofits and organizations and stuff that need your superpowers. And I know we're all busy, but you can find a window of time to make the world a better place.
Yeah. I do have one more question. I didn't ask you, what does BTP stand for?
Been There Photography.
Been There Photography. All right.
Because I have, you probably talked to me about it. I've been there. I'm a mom. I'm a kiddo whisperer even before I had Jace. I'm fluent in teenager, which is its own language, which is why senior pictures are one of my specialties. But I left corporate America in 2018 to do this full time. And about 6 weeks into it, I thought, what the hell have I done? And as small business owners, we have that moment every once in a while. I hope it's only every once in a while for you where you're thinking, what the heck have I done? But you need your tribe, and you need people that have been there, that iron sharpens iron and can encourage you and speak truth to you. I love hard, and it's not always pretty. And so you need those people that can pour some love into your business and some knowledge that maybe we're all smart in our own way, and you need people that are a different kind of smart than you.
Yeah, great point. Allison, what's the best way for people to be able to get a hold of you?
You can reach out on Facebook. My website has a place. Email me at hello@btpbyallison.com. Allison has one L. It is Allison. It is not Allison. Yeah.
Okay.
Just carrier pigeons don't work these days.
True. All right. Well, thanks so much, Allison. I enjoyed talking with you.
Oh, this was wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.